Welcome back to On the Porch. We're going to try this again, see if I'm savvy enough to actually get the live read and then uploaded. I'm not sure that I am. So, worst comes to worst, I'll read it twice. We are on Canto 3. I'm using the projectgutenberg.org. We are about to enter hell. So, Virgil, the Roman poet, the classic Roman poet, is the tour guide, if you will, to Dante as they enter hell. And there's a famous line that I hope it will be in this translation. We'll see. Through me to the city dolorous lies the way. Who pass through me shall pains eternal prove. Through me are reached the people lost for aye. 'Twas justice did my glorious maker move. I was created by the power divine, which is the Trinity, the three Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. The highest wisdom and the primal love. No thing's creation earlier was than mine. If not eternal, I for I endure. Ye who make entrance, every hope resign. These words beheld I writ in hue obscure. See, that's not the way I know it. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here, is the way I know it. What does it say again? Ye who make entrance, every hope resign. So they're rhyming it. So that's the problem with translation. So that's the famous line, but it's not so famous in this way. These words beheld I writ in hue obscure on summit of a gateway, wherefore I, hard is their meaning master, like one sure beforehand of my thought, he made reply. Here it behooves me to leave all fears behind. Behooves me, I have to believe. Here it behooves me, all cowardice behooveth here to die. For now the place I fold thee of we find, where thou the miserable folk should see who the true good of reason have resigned. Then with a glance of glad serenity, peace, he took my hand in his, he is Virgil, which made me bold, and brought me in where secret things there be, their sighs and plaints and wailings uncontrolled, the dim and starless air resounded through, nor at the first could I from tears withhold the various languages and words of woe. The uncouth accents, mixed with angry cries, and smiting palms, and voices loud and low, composed a tumult which doth circling rise, forever in that air obscured for eye. Master, what sound can this be that I hear, and who the folk thus whelmed in misery? And he replied, in this condition, dear, are held the souls of that inglorious crew who lived unhonored, but from guilt kept clear. Mingled they are with caitiff angels, who's in this part of hell, he's asking, and he's describing them. Mingled they are the caitiff angels, who though from avowed rebellion they refrain, so they're not horrible, disloyal to God, did selfish ends pursue. Like, instead of being godly, they went after their own fleshly desires. Heaven hurled them forth, lest they her beauty stained. Received they are not by the nether hell, else triumph thence were by the guilty gained. And I, what bear they, master, to compel their lamentations? Lamentations is like complaints, their sadnesses. When I look up, I lose my place when I'm there. In their lamentations in such grievous tone. He answered, in few words I will tell thee, no hope of death is to the wretches known. So dim the life and abject where they sigh, they count all sufferings easier than their own. Of them the world endures no memory, mercy and justice them alike disdain. So they're not extraordinary people, and they're just kind of lost in the gray. Speak we not of them, glance and pass them by. I saw a banner when I looked again, which always whirling round advanced in haste, as if despising steadfast to remain. And after it so many people chased in long procession, I should have not said that death had ever wrought such countless waste. Some first I recognized, like he knows people there. And then the shade I saw and knew of him, the search to close, whose dastard soul the great refusal made. Straightway I knew, and I was assured that those were the tribe of caitiffs, even the race despised of God and hated of his foes. Now remember, if you're not sure the meaning of something, there's a footnote there, 213, if I touch it. It brings to caitiffs, the one who had suffered like Dante for the frank part he took in affairs. Neutrality may well have seemed the unpardonable sin in politics. Like there's a Bible verse that says, either hot or cold, but lukewarm I spew you out of my mouth. So these are the Caitlins, the neutral, the not hot, not cold. They weren't screaming wrong evil. They weren't terrible evil sinners. They weren't holy, holy men. They were just kind of coasting through life, which is most of us. We're mostly caitiffs. And no doubt but that his thoughts were set on the trimmers in Florence when he wrote, "Let us not speak of them." So I'll go back to the body of the um, read. There are the caitiffs. The wretches who, when living, showed no trace of life, went naked and were fiercely stung by wasps and hornets swarming in that place. So the difficulties of life that bite at us are like wasp and hornets. Sometimes it's not anything big that makes somebody snap. You watch these airplane videos where people snapped at the airplane. It wasn't some major thing that makes them snap. It's just these constant little bug bites coming after you. Blood drawn by these out of their faces sprung, and mingled with their tears, was at their feet sucked up by loathsome worms it fell among. Casting mine eyes beyond, of these replete, people I saw beside an ample stream. Whereon I said, "O master, I entreat, tell who these are, and by what law they seem impatient till across the river gone. As I distinguish by this feeble gleam, and he, these things shall to thee be known, what time our footsteps shall at rest be found upon the woeful shores of Acheron, to the crossing into death." That river of death, right? You know that from the Greek histories you've read. Then, with ashamed eyes cast on the ground, fearing my words were irksome in his ear, until he reached the stream, I made no sound. And toward us, lo, within a bark drew near a veteran, who with ancient hair was white, shouting, "Ye souls depraved, be filled with fear, hope nevermore of heaven to win the sight. I come to take you to the other strand, to frost and fire and everlasting night." You need to have the scary sound effects. "And thou, O living soul, who there dost stand, from among the dead withdraw thee." Then aware that not at all I stirred at his command, "By other ways, from other ports thou'lt fare, but they will lead thee to another shore, and 'tis a skiff more buoyant must thee bear." And a skiff is like a little boat, and it's buoyant, it floats up. "And then, my leader, Charon, be not sore, for thus it has been willed where power ne'er came, short of the will. Thou, therefore, ask no more." And hereupon his shaggy cheeks grew tame. "Who is the pilot of the livid pool, and round about whose eyes glowed wheels of flame?" But all the shades, naked and spent with duel, stood chattering with their teeth, and changing hue, soon as they heard the words unmerciful. God they blasphemed, and families whence they grew, mankind, the time, place, seed in which began their lives, and seed whence they were born. Then drew they crowding all together as they ran, bitterly weeping, to the accursed shore, predestinate for every godless man. This idea of predestination is your whole life is planned out for you, and there's no free will, there's no choice. This was a philosophy, a belief. Predestination. The demon Charon, with eyes evermore aglow, makes signals, gathering them all. And whoso lingers smiteth with his oar. And as the faded leaves of autumn fall, one after the other, till at last the bough sees on the ground spread all its coronal, with Adam's evil seed, so haps it now. Now that's that allusion to Adam and Eve. At signs each falls in turn from off the coast, as fowls into the ambush fluttering go. The gloomy waters thus by them are crossed, and ere upon the further side they land, on this anew is gathering a host. "Son," said the courteous master, "understand, all such as the wrath of all such as in the wrath of God expire, from every country muster on this strand. To cross the river they are all on fire, their wills by heavenly justice goaded on, until their terror merges in desire. This way no righteous soul has ever gone." So if you were pure and good, you wouldn't have been here. "Wherefore, of thee, if Charon should complain, now art thou sure what by his words is shown?" When he had uttered this, the dismal plain trembled so violently, my terror passed. Recalling now, I'm bathed in sweat again. Out of the tearful ground there moaned a blast, whence lightning flashed forth red and terrible, which vanquished all my senses, and as cast in sudden slumber to the ground I fell. So there's this question of how can he come in, and Virgil explains that he's on a holy quest, and then suddenly, before they actually make the entry, dramatically he falls asleep or he faints or passes out. So that was Canto 3. Um, I hope you're getting more and more of it. I hope this is gonna work and I can upload it. So I'm gonna end the stream and we'll see what happens. See if it posts. Look for it in the live sections, but it's part of the playlist of Dante's Inferno. Thanks for joining me on the porch, and I will read to you next time. See ya.